The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Imagine all the possibilities of the Mombasa-Nairobi highway or phase 1 of the SGR were straight line routes. The Mombasa-Nairobi highway twists and turns with its many corners, goes downhill and ascends steep slopes. In contrast, the SGR runs on an almost straight line. So, back to my point, comparing road and rail speeds and capacity between Mombasa and Nairobi, it is fairly obvious that the Madaraka Express Freight Service shall change the game.
The impact of the expansion of this ICD and the development of standard gauge railway network is that cargo destined for ICD or cargo destined for Nairobi is now able to leave the port directly, come into Nairobi, and therefore the number of days that it was taking is completely reduced because cargo will be discharged from the port, it will be brought into ICD, and the cargo owner can pick it from here.
If you see the advantages that the ICDs have, they are linked to the port with the rail. They are linked by the special rail service to the port of Mombasa. And you'll be able to see that containers that are meant for the hinterland will just be discharged from the vessel and immediately put on the rail and brought further up country into the hinterland. This one presupposes that the dynamics will change.
I'm not talking minor or incremental changes in how we transport freight. I mean, things will never be the same again, changes. I'm talking shorter transportation times and greater freight capacity. What more can you ask for?
Railway is a good means of transport, provided, as I said, the rates are competitive, the service is efficient, and everything works like precision.
Many of our customers who are big importers are happy to use the rail because they know at the moment the container gets off the vessel, it's straight to SGR, and if there's any issue, they can actually come to ICD themselves and look out for their shipment.
Still hard to decide? Really? Let me take you through the process.
From the port, your cargo is taken to our Portrees marshalling area. We form a train, and within 24 hours from the time the cargo is handed over to Kenya Railways, it will be at the ICD here. So the cargo owner should be able to pick it as soon as it gets here, and we are working with a timeline of about 2 hours. That within 2 hours, our cargo will be ready for evacuation from the inland container depot.
When it lands here, KPA normally get that information from their system, transfer that cargo to the loading zone, we load and we transfer to ICD. So the owner or the agent waits for the cargo at the ICD.
Before the goods arrive, the importer or the agent brings the document or submits the document to us here, and Kenya Revenue Authority are the first point of contact. We receive the documents and we share the document with other partner government agencies, and we do all the clearance before the cargo arrives. Then upon cargo arrival, we are able to release the goods within 6 hours.
When the cargo arrives at the port of Mombasa, it is at the loading area, aka Railway Mounted Gantry, RMG area, where Kenya Ports Authority checks it from the ship. At the RMG area, it is sorted and those nominated to CFS are transported there, while those awaiting clearance for transportation to the Inland Container Depot ICD are stored there temporarily. Of the import cargo, 70% is domestic cargo and 30% is transit cargo. 80% of domestic cargo is destined for other locations past Mombasa, and that means business. Freight, transport, business.
And to make sure our business clients get the best service possible, we are separating the service into 2 categories. If you are a businessman who would like to import cargo, but you don't want it cleared in Mombasa, that cargo comes straight to the inland container depot without you having to go to Mombasa. But if you have your cargo cleared in Mombasa, then it will be destined for the Nairobi Freight Station. And that will basically enhance the effectiveness and efficiency of the service.
This has a great impact on our business because now we are able to go back to our customers and ask for more volume.
The freight transport process may take two forms, TBL and non-TBL.
TBL, these are containers which are in the product of through bill of lading, whereby they are sold at the port of loading. Once they land here, they are loaded onto the wagons and ferried to an inland container depot in Nairobi.
Non-TBL requires you to clear at the port of Mombasa, while TBL allows for clearance at the ICD in Nairobi. Okay, so if you opt for the non-TBL service, what stands between your cargo being in Nairobi at this point is clearance. Sounds hectic, right? Not anymore, because clearance has been simplified by the creation of one-stop centers. What's a one-stop center and what does it do?
That one-stop center will hold teams from Kenya Ports Authority, teams from the operator CRBC, teams from Kenya Railways, and teams from Kenya Ports Authority. Therefore, a customer is able to access and receive seamless service from all those players at one location without having to move papers from one point to the other.
But yes, more about the one-stop center later. From the RMG area, the cargo containers are loaded onto a wagon bed where upon transportation to the marshalling yard at the Port Reid station, they are arranged on the cargo train through the shunting process. Remember the shunting train? This is where it shines. 54 container wagons later, and the job is done. Since the freight service began in January, thousands of cargo containers have been transported between Mombasa and Nairobi. Currently, there is a daily freight service between Nairobi and Mombasa. The cargo transit time is only 8 hours, down from the 3 to 4 days that clients had to bear with for their cargo to reach Nairobi. Apart from the reduced transit time, there are also several quantifiable benefits of the Madaraka Express Freight Service.
Ships which had deserted the port of Mombasa because there were those delays occasioned by lack of space on the boat will now come back and start using the port of Mombasa.
There is a lot of certainty. Our line is a lot safer, reliable, and the cost at which we are transporting that cargo is much lower than what they are paying on the road. So we are transferring benefit in terms of savings to cargo owners, which we believe will help to lower the cost of production, and that eventually transfers to the final cost of production of goods and services, and therefore we expect that it should bring down the cost of doing business, bring down the cost of goods and services.
If the efficiencies will settle in, it will make us much more effective, much more competitive to produce and export beyond the borders and benefit out of this facility.
In Nairobi, the client's point of interactions with their containers is the Inland Container Depot. Once at the ICD, the cargo undergoes the process at the port in reverse, shunting, then unloading. Here, clients using TBL terms have their clearance workload lessened on account of the one-stop centers. Yes, these one-stop centers are an inter-agency effort to facilitate the clearance of cargo. The benefits offered are immense.
When you had so many people to be reporting to, so many processes to follow, it used to create room for corruption and gain out of such situations. Here today, it is further added efficiency, and it's the corruption will be done away with because there is no human interference. On the other side, the efficiency that comes with it will have much faster clearance of cargo.
Once cleared, the client is free to move the cargo to their final destination. All this at ridiculously low costs.
We promise that we will lower the cost of transport and logistics. We've already given tariffs. Customers are looking at them and they're happy with them. We are signing contracts. And we believe as soon as they start bringing through their cargo, they will really experience that we've been able to keep the promise that we gave.
At $250 for a 20-feet container and $300 for a 40-feet, these prices are a bargain. Less than half of the alternative prices.
The charges for the 20-foot container are 250 from 500 USD, and for the 40-foot containers, the charges were reduced from 700 to 300 USD.
Your cargo is in safe hands with round-the-clock monitoring of your cargo through an efficient monitoring system laid in place.
We have our system which we are using, a loading system where we book wagons, we book the specific containers on the system. Now once we have loaded, we prepare train manifests which we are sharing with the shipping lines, but at the same time the shipping lines are sharing with the clients.
You need to be assured that your goods are secure, okay, and monitoring goods as they're coming on the rail is an easy thing because one unit. The same with the truck is one unit. Okay. On the road, as I say, every train is equal to 150 different truck units. So security becomes a lot more improved. There are lots of considerations.
And the beauty is that we have the visibility. The people at the ICD and the KRC group has been very, very responsive to us. We get daily and regular updates from them, which is a big value to our business.
Information and access to the Madaraka Express Freight Services is within your reach as potential clients. Given a little more time, the Madaraka Express Freight operations can be at full operational capacity of 20 trains of 54 wagons. And with that, forever altering the freight transport business in the country. What more can you ask for?